Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and welcome everyone. So today we will have our last lesson in this unit, Unit 3, and it is the final lesson for this unit. After that, we have a short story between a girl and a whale. After that, we have the project challenge that we have to do for this unit. Finally, check your progress page. And the first thing we will do is actually take the lesson 3.4. So let's start this lesson. It's an easy and simple lesson, entertaining actually. Animal types. In this lesson, we will take a text about a type of animal. And this type of animal, as you can see from the pictures, amphibians. Amphibians. There are many types of amphibians, like the frog, the lizards, salamanders, and there is many species of these amphibians. All right, so we should start and read the text together. What is an amphibian? The amphibians are animals that can live in water and on land. For example, frogs, turtles, lizards. They need a moist environment to survive, like mud, like watery places, and their habitat are near water or in wet places. All right, look at the text is made with the present simple, and there are some keywords and defining relative clause. So if you are thinking to make a definition about other types of animals like mammals, reptiles, birds, whatever you like, you can use the same form. You can use the same form to talk about the animal you would like to talk about. All right, now let's move to the characteristics of these amphibians. The amphibians are vertebrates, which means they have a spine or a backbone. They have a spine or a backbone, or in Arabic we say faqariyat. And these types of animals have smooth, thin skin that feels moist and sticky. Other characteristics of these animals are that they have lungs and gills. Lungs are used to breathe air, and gills are used to breathe air underwater. Most can breathe and absorb water through their skin too. So, for example, frogs, they can breathe through their skin, not only with their lungs. Types of amphibians, there are over 8,000 species, including frogs, toads, salamanders, and newts. Amphibians lay their eggs in water, so they are different from other animals who give birth or who put their eggs in a nest, like birds. And this comes to one reason, because their eggs are covered in a gel, not a shell. So they need to be put underwater. Here we have a picture of some type of eggs covered in gel underwater. And here are the young developing amphibians. We have a picture of for them. They look similar to fish. They must protect and feed themselves in the water until they can grow legs and lungs. After that, they can move into land and return to the water to breathe and find food. All right, so now we have the activities, but before we do the activities, there actually is a point here. Did you know that the most toxic amphibians are very bright colored? Look at the picture of this frog here that has a yellow color around his skin. It's very bright because this indicates that this frog is toxic. and this warns other animals to stay away from them. Now, let's try to do activity number 1. Listen to the animal sounds. Can you identify the animals? Classify the animals into types. Which type is missing? So we have actually the types here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's listen now and try to identify the animals.
Track 24. 1, 2,
So the first one was the sound of the whale, and the second one was the sound of the frogs. Now you can listen to the rest of them if you have your digital book and try to decide each sound. Now let's move to activity 2. Match the words below with the types of animals in activity 1. So we have a set of words here: breed, fur, gills, lungs, scales, and we need to decide which one belongs to who. So breed, birds, reptiles, fish, mammals, insects, amphibians. So birds can breathe, reptiles can breathe, fish, no, they cannot breathe. Mammals, they breathe, insects breathe, amphibians breathe. What about fur? Birds have fur. Reptiles? No, they don't have fur. They have scales. Scales. What about fish? Fur? No. Scales? Yes. Mammals? Some of them have fur. Insects? They don't have fur. What about gills? Do birds have gills? Do reptiles have gills? No. Only fish and amphibians have gills. You can do the rest while we move to activity 3. What type of animals can you see in the photos? Here, A, B, C. In A, we can see clearly a duck surrounded by trees. B, a whale. C, a type of lizards we call chameleon. Chameleon. What are the similarities and differences between them? Similarities are that in A, we have a duck, which is a type of birds. Whale belongs to the mammal type. And finally, the chameleon belongs to reptiles. But do they share similarities? No, I don't think there is similarities, but there are differences. There are differences. For example, chameleon has scales, but the whale has smooth skin. It's not similarities, they are different. Number 4, read the infographic text about amphibians. Which of your points from activity 3 is mentioned? Amphibians breathe in water and on land. Their skin is smooth. They have lungs, gills. They breathe through their skin. They lay eggs in water. They don't have a hard shell. So, from activity 3, which of your points from activity 3 are mentioned? So, they mentioned the type of skin is smooth, for example, and now we can move to activity number 5. Find the keywords underlined in the text and read the information. Which information is new for you? Keywords underlined like species, young, which is the most interesting. So you can read again the characteristics and types of amphibians text. Try to find an interesting information. The most interesting information for me is actually that amphibians have lungs and gills, right? Now you can move to activity 6, create an infographic text about a type of animal, work in pairs. So you can copy the same format we said here and talk about any type of animals you would like. Maybe ducks or whales, chameleons, whatever you decide. So now we have finished this lesson. At 3.5, we have a short story that we will save until next week. Now let's move to the project challenge. So in this unit, we have two types of projects, Project A, Project B. Project A is a presentation about how an animal survives. If you remember, I think lesson 3.2. No, lesson 3.1. We talked about the penguin life. How does the penguin survive? So you can find some informations here that could help you to make your own presentation about a type of animal you choose. Okay, so basically it is a presentation and you have to follow these steps. Number one, choose an animal for the presentation. For example, eagle, frog, bears. After you choose your animal, brainstorm things you already know. Okay, example, you already know that bears live or polar bears, they live in the coldest places. They eat seals. They are predators. And other informations that you can find in the book or after you do step number 2. So after choosing the animal and brainstorming things you already know, you have to write 4 questions to find out about how it survives. How does this animal survives? Think about mammals, reptiles, amphibians, birds, insects, and fish. So here are the types of animals you can select from. For example, bears belong to mammals, right? And then you can move to step number 2. Research your animal using the internet or library and find more information. Use the questions to plan the research. For example, how does this animal survive? How does it uh, take food? Or how does it hunt prey? How do they mate? And other questions that you could come up with. Here are some ideas for the questions. Habitats, hunting and prey, place in the food chain, caring for young, climate. Where do they live, for example? Plan your presentation together, use your questions to organize and write your presentation. So after doing that, you can work together with someone, a partner or a friend to make or use the questions to organize and write the presentation in a paper. You can write it using your computer. Number 4, create visuals. So you need pictures along with your presentation. And the visuals has to engage with your audience and make them want to listen and find out more. Number 5, check and practice your presentation together using the visuals. Each group member should present a part. All right, so this is a group project that you can do. It's a group project, and you can give a part to each group member. Finally, deliver your presentation as a group to your class, with each group member delivering a part. If you don't want to do project A, you can do project B. create a quiz about an animal. First step is the same. Choose an animal. Write these words: animal type, features, habitat, how they survive, what they eat. Number 2, write a quiz for another pair to answer. Include at least one question about each of the topics in activity 1. These topics. Make questions about these topics. You can include images too, like this. Make sure you have noted down the answers. Yeah. Number 3, check your quiz questions. Check spelling, grammar, correct any errors. Now write the quiz questions and add visual images. It's very important to add images. You can type or write questions by hand. Make sure your handwriting is clear and easy to read, of course. So your handwriting has to be good to write these questions and also put some pictures. Number 5, swap your quiz with another pair. Answer each other's question. Okay, this is actually a nice project that you can do between groups to find out who answers the most questions. When you have all finished, get together to check your answers. Now you can find out more about animal types and informations. Finally, at the end, get together as a class, share 2 new pieces of information you have learned from each other's quizzes. Now, that's it for today. Next class, we will take the short story 3.5 and the check your progress 3.7. And then we can finish this unit. And good luck in your exams. I hope that you study very hard and you do very well in the exam. Thank you for coming. See you later.